Hello, this is Brian Rowe with Mythic MTG Tech number 74 here, reviewing the soon-to-come-out Heroes vs. Monsters dual decks. For people who aren't familiar with these type of decks already, they're a great way for casual players to really enter the market and start playing Magic. They're a little bit more complicated than a brand new starter deck, but they're not extremely complicated tournament-style decks. They kind of have a plethora of cards from the entire Magic history. Myself and my daughter actually started playing the Knights vs. Dragons deck shortly after I got back into Magic a few years ago, and it was a great way to teach the basics, have a diversity of cards, and have a lot of fun. Some of these decks also end up taking off as collector's items depending on what's in them. The Divine versus Demonic has a demonic tutor in it that's worth more than the cost of the deck itself. And the Izzet versus Golgari has the most beautiful brainstorm in it. It's the brainstorm that you guys all saw from the altered art images video I did a few weeks ago. Now let's jump into the particular decks. Both decks are actually pretty good. I like them a lot. The Boros deck, the red-white one, has a theme of throwing enchantments onto individuals and hitting pretty hard. There's a nice mix of creatures and direct damage. It also has some spells that people have been hoping they would see reprinted for a while now. The monsters deck is a little bit more one-dimensional. It's a little bit larger in your creature base. It also has some things that do damage to all creatures. It's a red-green Gruul deck that beats down pretty hard with some larger creatures. It's a little bit easier of the two to play. It has some very popular older cards, though. I mean, I remember playing both Orcish Lumberjack and Troll Aesthetic long ago in Magic. The best cards in this particular set are these 8. The 2 of these are from the upcoming Theo set, so nobody has seen them until just now, and nobody knows how good they're going to be, although I'm going to take a guess at it here soon. The Fires of Yavimaya is just an incredible EDH card. It was a great standard card at one point in time. You really need to take into account how important haste is for your creatures, especially in a format like EDH. Figure of Destiny has been a really popular card. A little bit surprised to see him reprinted in here, as he's been reprinted several times recently, but he's definitely a crowd favorite, so that may be why. Sun Titan here is also another huge crowd favorite. He has wonderful new artwork on him. This is his 3rd version for artwork, and I'm actually excited to see this in foil. Magma Jet's a great card, and a card a lot of people have been looking for, specifically for Modern. Winds of Wrath is another great build-around card in EDH, and Regrowth is a classic card from Alpha Beta. Whether this particular set will have a lot of value or it will just be a casual staple is how valuable these 2 new cards from Theos are. The Hydra here, I want it to be good. I want there to be an amazing Hydra. Every time a Hydra comes out, the little kid in me tries to throw it into a deck, and it never ends up working out. This Hydra has a great addition to it in Monstrosity, which can allow you to kill some of your opponent's creatures. Now, that is very mana intensive, though. So let's say you put him out, curving out on turn 3 or turn 4, and then you have the mana to pay into Monstrosity the following turn. You're only going to get +2/+2 out of him. This ability, though, does act as a threat that your opponent has to deal with, and it may prevent your opponent from putting things out on the board. He's 4 mana for a 5/5, enough to make something tournament playable. As the Dead Bridge Goliath here has shown you, it quickly became a quarter rare, and it is not enough. So what really matters here is how good is Monstrosity compared to Scavenge 6. And Monstrosity is clearly better, but I don't think it's actually tournament worthy. It's more of a casual ability that is going to work really well when people have ramped and have a very full board state, but not a competitive deck that needs to curve out. Also compare this here to the recent Hydra that has come out. Now, I understand the Hydra's got a ridiculous price tag right now. It's at like $25–30 and is seeing a little bit of tournament play in one deck. Is this Hydra, the new one from Theos, better or worse? It really depends on how much mana you're able to dump into Monstrosity, and I don't see a way in Standard to get a huge amount of mana into Monstrosity to allow you to make him significantly larger. The M14 Hydra is going to get much bigger, much quicker. I like the M14 Hydra a little bit better, although I'm pretty sure that even the M14 Hydra is going to drop to about $10 here soon, as it's only really playable in a certain mono green deck. The biggest problem that this Hydra is going to see, though, is he may not see the light of play at all because of Lifebane Zombie. Green cards that hit the curve above Lifebane Zombie have to be just amazing. Otherwise, you're setting yourself up for a 2-for-1 with Lifebane Zombie. So it really moves this card into the casual realm instead of the competitive realm. Now, the new Boros Legend here, clearly aimed at commanders, may see a little bit of play in a Boros-style deck, although it's really got this build-around heroic mechanic where when you target it with your own spells, he's going to gain +1/+1 and trample. So him and your entire team, kind of a white weenie attack deck, could get really large really quickly for an attack if you have 2 or 3 spells. Even a single spell on him, though, during combat, maybe a giant growth on him or something else that gives him double strike, is going to pump your whole team. So he might be the top of the curve of a standard deck. He really fits well with kind of a Voltron strategy where you throw everything on top of him, or even in a Swarm deck where you have a huge number of 1/1s. This particular deck also has some nice enchantments and instants that combo very well with him. It's almost as if they're trying to build a commander deck with him at the helm, and then it ended up being a 60-card deck instead. Overall, for commander players, I would definitely look at both of these creatures. They could have a really nice impact on your EDH game, and they'd be wonderful cards to build around. The other new cards here tell us a little more about the flavor of Theos. The Satyr is the most interesting to me in that he may allow you to ramp rather quickly and get to some higher casting cost spells. And depending on how many enchantments and artifacts are in the set, Destructive Revelry may be a sideboard staple. The most valuable cards in this set are clearly the Figure of Destiny, Sun Titan, Duus of Calamity, Magma Jet, and Regrowth. I do need a playset of Magma Jets and almost consider picking up 4 of this dual deck just for the Magma Jets. The Regrowth here, though, is something most people are going to miss because Black Border Regrowths currently go for about $30 plus. Do I think that this Regrowth is going to be worth anywhere near that? No, but it is going to be a nice Regrowth for people to add to their cube, so it could easily become $5 or $7 over time. Figure Destiny and Sun Titan, they've seen a few reprints at this point, so they're both going to go down in price significantly, but they're great cards, and long-term, they're the type of cards that your casual fans love, so they'll go back up over time. The MSRP on this is $20, pretty much everywhere I've seen online has it for $20. The important thing, though, to remember with this particular set is that the value of the cards put in it is going to go down over time because none of the particular cards are extremely tournament worthy outside of possibly the 2 Theos cards. It's really tough to tell without seeing the whole set, but this is really aimed at more of a casual market. If you want to pick this up as a commander player, I definitely recommend it, but I wouldn't recommend it as an investment. And I'm actually guessing that the cost of this is going to dip down to about that $15 range a week or 2 after release, and then it will steadily go up slowly over time the way that these do if they're left unopened. Although the reason to pick this up is definitely to play it, not as an investment. Thanks. This has been Brian Rowe with Mythic MTG Tech, doing a quick review of Heroes versus Monsters.
Facing the dreaded 7-headed Hydra.